Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. We're the Garso Twins. I'm Carly.
And I'm Britta.
And we'd love if you would subscribe before you leave if you like this video. We typically do favorites videos, weekly favorites that are lifestyle focused, monthly favorites, get readies with us, reviews. This one's a little different.
This one was highly requested in our last video. Lots of you asked for tips on how to save money because we talked about how we've been living off of our savings for like the past year or
Over a year.
Yeah,
which I know isn't like recommended, but we're small business owners.
Yeah.
We love being small business owners,
Yeah,
working
so I
for
think
ourselves.
you guys deduced that we were going to saving money, which is accurate. So we have lots of tips, and I feel really passionate about this subject.
Yeah, we are good at it. So let's go.
Okay, so number one, I know you've heard this a million times, but you have to live below your means if you want to be able to save money. Easier said than done, but I just want to put it out there because that is step one.
Absolutely. When we worked at our last full-time jobs, like we both made pretty good money, even for being in Los Angeles, but we knew our goal was to leave, and we knew we would have to support ourselves with our savings while we're building our businesses. So our top priority was always saving money over overspending.
Yeah.
And we could have purchased many things that we didn't for years.
Yeah, I mean, we did spend though still. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys watch our channel, you know the things we buy. We've obviously scaled back in the past year or so, but I feel like we did find a good balance.
Yes.
But our priority, like Carly said, was to save money. So I guess get in that mindset of making that your number one priority.
Yeah, and so some ways you can live below your means is your car is a huge one.
Yeah.
We have a lot of friends, obviously, that have nice cars and they lease them or they have monthly payments. And while a nice car is nice, we've never been of the belief that it is a necessity. Obviously, you want your car to be safe. That's not what we're talking about here. But if your car is working and it's fine, we will drive this into the ground.
Yeah.
Not having a car payment saves so much money.
These days
It's
especially,
yes.
I have a 2012 Nissan, so an old car, paid it off years ago, but even when I was making payments, I want to say my payments were only like $200 a month, like nothing
Yeah,
crazy.
and now there's nothing like that.
Yeah, so that's a huge one. And then another way we personally save, and it's easy for us, is if we live together. Like if you live with roommates, you're automatically going to save money on rent, obviously. And I know that's not ideal for everyone. It like works for us. And a reason why we were able to leave our said jobs and live off our savings is because our per person rent is so much lower. And I actually read the statistic that 1 in 4 adults live with other adults. It made me feel like our situation was maybe more normal than I think.
Yeah, and yeah, if that's not for you, there's other ways to save money, but
Yeah.
it's obviously probably the biggest contributor for us being able to save over the years.
Yeah, and we've said before, we didn't think we'd be here so long, but
Yeah, but
times
now-
are tough.
Now we're living on our savings.
Yeah.
Okay, another huge one, which we've become really cognizant of in the past year, working for ourselves, is grocery shopping. I think where you grocery shop is huge. When we were in college, we exclusively grocery shopped at Walmart because we literally couldn't afford anything else. Like, could not go to like a Ralph's or a Vons.
But then we did go to Vons before discovering Trader Joe's, and that was so expensive.
But yeah, so in college we were really frugal. Then we kind of forgot about it for a few years. Then we discovered Trader Joe's, and we were like, why is everything significantly cheaper here than at like the nationwide grocery stores or like the regional grocery stores? And once you kind of pay attention to pricing, I think you'll realize which stores are cheaper, and then just shop there. Like, even if they don't have everything you want, we get everything we need at Trader Joe's.
Well, we do get a few things at Target, but Target is also cheap.
Yes, it's not as cheap as it used to be, but it's still a good place to go. But yeah, we haven't shopped at like a Ralph's or a Vons in literally years, and we cannot afford it. And
Yeah. My other thing was just to like plan your budget or like stick to your budget. And a way to do this is like now we cook at home a lot, so we'll like plan meals.
Cook most of your meals at home.
Yeah, so we'll, I guess, that's a kind of a twofold answer, because like we'll cook a lot at home, so we kind of plan like, oh, this is what we need to buy, here's like the budget in your head. But like we said, Trader Joe's is so affordable that you can even be like a little looser with your budget. Like, you're probably not going to go over your budget at Trader Joe's, but plan your meals. And yeah, I mean, that's a huge one.
And you're saying like don't get distracted when you get to the store. Like, buy what's on your list, essentially.
Buy what's on your list.
I have another thing with the grocery shopping. Buy cheaper foods. This is something we started doing recently. But I make this dish now that's like sweet potatoes and chickpea base, and a sweet potato is like 60 cents. And a can of chickpeas is the organic are like $2.
Yeah.
And for both of us, so it's like literally like $1.70 a meal for each of us, and it's super filling, super delicious.
Yeah, another thing, we're not trying to push our way of eating on anyone, but if you are a vegetarian, you will spend way less money.
Yeah, I was gonna mention this. We are vegetarian, so we don't
Well,
buy.
we're pescatarian.
Yeah.
But we don't buy fish because it's too expensive.
It's expensive. So yeah, if you are vegetarian like us, we've realized things like potatoes and beans are the best, and lentils are the like cheapest options. We do still buy produce to get, because we're trying to eat, healthy, like
well-rounded.
Yeah, we still buy like kale and broccoli, but like we make this cauliflower dish and we buy a whole head of cauliflower and cut it up instead of buying the pre-cut cauliflower. So changes like that definitely go a long way over time. You might not notice it initially, but trust that a penny saved is a penny earned, as they say.
Yes. And then kind of to piggyback off the groceries, we try to eat at home often for almost all of our meals. But if we do eat out or get food to go, we never get it delivered. Like, never get your food delivered.
Once in a while we do. We don't say never.
Okay.
We do. The
Well,
Mediterranean salad, we get
But
delivered.
we've only done it if there was like a deal going on. We've
Yeah,
never
I
just
mean,
like willy-nilly done it.
Yeah, so we try to pick up food if we're ordering it instead of doing it for delivery. And then we limit ourselves to probably ordering food twice a month.
Maybe, yeah, okay.
Twice a month, and then
Twice
going
a month.
out to eat, it's hard. Some months are we have like a lot of friends' birthdays in May, so
Yeah.
like it really goes up and down, but we used to eat out so much more, again, when we had full-time jobs. Now we eat majority of our meals at home. I'd say make sure 80% of your meals are at home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
The
a
other
good
20%.
And you guys see us on Instagram stories, we do get coffee out a lot, which I know some people are like, save the $5, but it's not hurting me really in the
No,
long
we
run.
can go into this now, the coffee.
Okay.
So this has been a huge thing for us. For years, and I mean years, when we were in college, we rarely got Starbucks. We were so good at saving. We would only drink coffee at home, and then at our job, we worked at an airport, and we had nice coffee there. And then we would get Starbucks at our school in college, like maybe like once every 2 to 3 weeks. Like,
yeah.
So we saved so much because everyone else we knew in college was drinking Starbucks like
every day.
Every day. So that was huge. And then we kind of built that habit. And we've loved making coffee at home since then. Then we got an espresso, and if you guys are familiar, the pods are expensive.
Yeah.
They really are.
They're like $1.50.
Yeah. So once we quit our job, we didn't want our machine to go to waste, but now we have a strict rule that we make like normal coffee pot coffee.
Like bagged coffee.
Bagged
And
coffee.
You can buy the organic ground coffee from Trader Joe's for like $6 a bag. It's so cheap and it's organic.
Yeah. So we eat that coffee we drink that coffee exclusively Monday through Friday. Then on the weekends, we have our Nespresso. So we're going through pods so much slower. To Britta's point,
I would say we buy like 2 to 3 coffees a week out.
Really? I don't know. I think it's at least once a week for sure.
Okay, maybe 2. Maybe average of 2.
Yeah, so but I will say it's a new thing for us. For years, we never got coffee out, and that's definitely the way to go. But I think
it's a cheaper pastime than doing other things.
Well, I think that we've supplemented being able to go to eat.
Yeah.
Like, we love going out to eat, and because we're trying to save so much, we can't do that. And so in our minds, we're like, oh, well, we can get a $6 cup of coffee. So we've kind of like made swaps in that sense. And we're still saving with our little coffee swap with our Nespresso trick. So do with that what you will, but definitely don't get coffee every day. Like, that is absolutely crazy. No one needs that.
Well, I mean, you can. It's all about how you want to budget and spend your money.
Yeah.
We're just sharing what we're doing. Okay, and then another main thing, Carly doesn't do this, but it really helps me. So I keep a spending tracker to hold myself accountable, and so I do have a budget. I don't really look at it all that often. I'm not really like lining up my tracker with my budget, so I could be better in that regard, but I feel like just getting what I'm spending on paper, or like not actual physical paper, it's a Google sheet, it like puts it in my mind. And this is, I don't include bills, so it's basically all the spending aside from like fixed bills. I put on a tracker so I can kind of see what I'm spending weekly, and maybe one week I'll like overspend, and then it'll kind of help me mentally like, okay, maybe next week I should scale back a little. And if you're somebody who kind of just doesn't have a good grasp on how much you're spending, and then all of a sudden your credit card's like out of control, I think it's super helpful. Like I said, it's just to have like a top line, like, oh, this is how much I'm spending in a month. That's way more than I want to be spending, type of thing.
Okay, I have another one that's go through apps you're paying for monthly and see where you can cut back. This applies to TV, like streaming services and phone apps. I think that a lot of people just have subscribed to things that they no longer use. I know, like my boyfriend had done DoorDash Dash Pass.
The Dash Pass.
And like he does use it, but even like you don't even need that. Like I think just getting rid of things that you absolutely don't need. You guys know we love TV more than anything. We watch so much television. But at the beginning of this year, we went through all the ones we were paying for, which was literally every single one because we didn't want to miss out. And we dropped 2, I think, because we were like, oh, we don't need those. We can consolidate, especially because they've all gone up in price. And we think Hulu is the best bet if you just want to focus on one. Same with phones. We actually, like one of the things we both have is the Teza editing app.
Yeah, but that's only like $4 a month.
Yes, I was gonna say though, that was one though we went back into like the subscribe options that they offered. It was something in the App Store.
No, you're thinking of Splice.
Oh yeah, and got like a better deal on it. So sometimes when you go back and look at the different deals, you can get a better deal too.
Go to your subscriptions, and if you have one coming up, like oftentimes, so under subscriptions, click on it, and sometimes there are other plans that is like a yearly plan for a less dollar amount. I don't know how it works.
Less than what you're currently on.
Yeah, like we did that for Splice, the like video editor, and I think it went from like $45 to like $12 a year.
So cheap.
So look for that. That's a good tip. Okay, this is a big one. I think it is probably easy to cut back for most people.
It applies to women mostly.
Yeah, mostly women, which is probably who watches our channel that's watching this video is women. But minimize services like personal care services. Like for us, for instance, we get our hair colored once every 6 months, which isn't super often. And for the most part, our friend Grace cuts our hair, which we're grateful to have her, so that's like affordable.
Yeah, if you have a friend that knows how to cut hair.
Yeah, or we've cut each other's hair before
we
too.
have, like when we really didn't want to spend money.
YouTube has some really good tutorials, so because haircuts are insanely expensive these days.
Yeah, it's actually quite crazy.
And I do Botox, but I don't do very much of it, just in my forehead, and I only do it every 6 months. So really try to minimize that.
Okay, this one is kind of vague, but I've realized that I've cut down so much on constant repurchases by buying like off-brand cotton browns, like the little cotton rounds that you use to like put toner on your face, cotton swabs, which is name brand Q-tip, but if you're trying to save, I've ordered both now from Amazon Basics brand. They are literally like $3 versus like $8 for the name brand. And I go through them both kind of frequently. I use Q-tips to like touch up my mascara. And I've realized that I'm saving so much over time. I've even bought like off-brand razors. Now I have like a replaceable razor head and off-brand
toothbrush heads. Also buy body wash and use it in my like soap dispenser in the bathroom, because body wash, like a big bottle, can be almost the same price as like a small bottle of hand soap sometimes. So that's a good hack because it has the same like surfactant system. It's just it's gonna get your hands clean and it's cheaper. These kind of go together, but I had be mindful with purchases, like add things to your wish list and think on it before buying. We both have Pinterest wish lists, so I think it's helpful to see things like visually. So I have like my wish list, and then I have it separated into boards of like bags and accessories, jeans, like things that I want. And just to keep it there and like really think on it before buying something. I never impulsively, now I shouldn't say never, but more often than not, I'm not going to be impulsively buying something.
Yeah, I'll like have something in mind, like, oh, I really want to wear more red. Like if I see something come up in this color I have specifically in mind, like then maybe I'll buy it, but I'm not just like purchasing things.
Yeah, I guess this also goes to another one I had, was wait for a sale to buy something unless it's something you really want or you're worried it's going to sell out. Like sometimes with Zara, if I see something, I'm like, I have to get it because their stuff sells out so fast. But if it's a website that has sales often, try to wait for a sale because you're probably gonna not regret waiting and saving the money instead of having it sooner, you know?
And overall, we just way cut down on spending on like makeup and clothes. I used to I swear every Sunday place many online shopping orders. I think it was a way to cope with stress looking back, and now we are way less stressed but have way less money, so I just don't do that anymore, and I don't find the need to actually.
I don't either.
So,
and I didn't have this on my list, but I heard this tip once. If you feel like you need to spend money, take a beat and read a book. And we're readers, so I feel like this could work for us if I ever feel like, oh, I really want to place that order, but instead pick up your book and it may soothe you enough that you don't feel the need.
Probably go for a walk.
Yeah.
Get outside. That'll probably help too. I don't do this for everything, but I have done it for some things. But unsubscribe from emails from places you're tempted to order from often. So this would be clothing websites, maybe Sephora. Anything that you have found yourself spending money on. I definitely just don't look at those emails much anymore. Again, when I was shopping every Sunday, I would be checking all the newsletters, checking the sales. And now I'm well, I don't have money to order those things, so I'm just not going to look. And it is so much easier when you don't look, because sometimes you'll see a sale and then Britta said oh, you're oh, I want to buy things on sale, I should do it. But then it's were you really gonna buy this anyways? I find that if I'm much more intentional with my purchases when I type in a website, go to that website, then see if there's any sales because I really want to buy something from that site versus just seeing it in my inbox and then clicking the link.
Yeah.
And kind of mindlessly doing it.
I will say though, I'm still subscribed to places that I repurchase from. For instance, the Isle of Paradise Self Tanner, I'll always have that product. So I like to know if there's a sale because I'm I'll buy it now. So I save the money and have a little bit of a backup. Or my Fit Glow concealer, I'm always going to be buying that. So things you're always going to be buying, try to buy on sale when available as well.
Yeah. I have buy more clothes secondhand. This is something I started doing right after we left our jobs, and I found it to be so fun. I've bought a lot of jackets on Depop or Poshmark and bags and really good quality leather pieces that I can no longer afford. That's just reality. I can no longer afford a super nice leather bag, not forever, but for right now. And so it's nice to buy something secondhand that's old and vintage and maybe isn't in perfect condition, but you get it for $40 and you're oh, well, I can afford this. And the quality's there. So
better for the environment too. I also had shop online so you're not tempted to buy things you don't need in store. This I really had to do with specifically Target when we first left and didn't have as much of a budget for Target, because we would go to Target, we still go to Target a lot, but at first I would be oh, I need this or I need this, and so I would make online orders of things I actually needed so I didn't have to go in store and browse. Now I feel we can go and browse.
Yeah, we browse and we just don't buy.
Yeah, we just don't buy.
It's honestly fun.
But we save the things for later, and we said, if there's a sale, I'll grab it on sale.
Yeah.
But that is just a good way to not spend money, especially if there's a store. If I still had a paycheck and went into & Other Stories as often as we do, I feel I would be buying things every trip. But now I know I can't afford it. But back then I was this could be dangerous. So if you feel yourself getting there, place an online order instead of going in store.
Okay, this is something we didn't usually do. Well, I guess we do with blushes, but don't buy multiples of makeup. So don't buy backups of products you love unless you are very sure it's being discontinued. If you're sure it's being discontinued and you want to have that, go for it. But you don't need a backup. You can just repurchase it once you're done. And now, I think back when I had more funds, I would buy a concealer to try, then I'd buy another concealer, and I kind of rotate them, and that's fine. But now that I'm trying to save more money, I've definitely gotten into the habit of buying a concealer, using it up, and buying another concealer.
Yeah, especially with mascara.
Yeah, same with mascara. Concealer does too, though, kind of.
Yeah.
Same with foundation. I used to buy a lot of foundations, and then I just realized that I wasn't even reaching for some of them, and it's just so much better to use something up. And I know, we make YouTube videos, and so we do like to do reviews. You guys like those videos. So we still overbuy even more than I would, feel comfortable with, but we only do that because we like to review for you. But if you're just, not doing that, just try to limit the amount of makeup you're buying and skincare. I think for a while I was buying so many sunscreens. I'm like, why am I doing this? Sunscreen goes bad. Like, it expires. And then you have all these like things you're not using. So try to just focus in on one of each category at a time.
I wrote down free or low cost activities, which we have become professionals at. Reading is obviously the easiest one. We both love to read a lot. We get all of our books primarily from the library, so they're free. We read in our Kindles. Our Kindles for like $60 each. It's a really low cost, enjoyable activity. We do a lot of walks. Like, if we have an afternoon free, we'll be like, oh, let's go walk around like Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's really nice because you get some fresh air. So I feel like it also helps to like open up your mind. Like, we have some, like, we talk through things on those walks.
Yeah.
That we wouldn't really do sitting at home. Watching TV, obviously, no, I don't think you guys watch as much TV as we do. Maybe we watch an unhealthy amount, but I love watching TV.
Yeah. We not free though, because we just said we pay for all those apps.
Yeah, we go to improv shows. There's an improv place by our house that does improv shows from like $5 to $20, really cheap, super affordable, really fun activity you can do. We only go to the movie theater on Tuesdays because our AMC has a deal on Tuesdays where it's like super discounted. So try to find like the deals at your movie theater to make something actually affordable.
And we never order stuff at the movies. Like, we don't, like, if our boyfriends are with us, my boyfriend loves to overspend. He is a tourist.
Yeah.
And he will buy like popcorn and snacks, but I don't do that. So we will either like sneak in some candy in the purse.
Yeah.
Or we'll
get Wetzel Bites, maybe.
Yeah, get our free water and sit down.
Yeah.
And that's it. Oh yeah, last time we went to the movies, we split a pizza mount from Mendo. It was the kids menu for like $6, and it was super filling, so we each spent like $3 and then drank free water at the movies.
Yeah,
no
it was
shame.
fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
And then I also had window shopping, like specifically going to Sephora and swatching. We love to go to Sephora and like swatching things that we're interested in, trying new fragrances, and we don't feel tempted to buy them that day. It's just like a fun activity to go and like look around. We do that in Nordstrom too a lot.
Yeah, and oftentimes it'll help you be like, oh, I actually don't need that. I actually don't like that. Or you'll be like, oh, I actually love that so much, and I'm gonna like save up to buy it eventually because I want it.
And it's just a fun way to like pass the time.
Yeah. Okay, I have don't get your nails done.
We didn't include that in services, but
yeah, we've never done this.
No.
I mean, obviously we've gotten them done when we've been like forced in like group outings.
Yeah.
But we don't get our nails or toenails done ever. We've always painted them at home. And I think it's something our mom instilled in us, and I'm really grateful she did. She never got them done. Now in her retiree days, she's been getting them done, and good for her. But it's such an easy money-saving tip because so many people get them done like weekly.
I don't even want to know.
We don't even know. We don't even know. It would just stress us out to know how much people spend on their nails. No judgment. Just like, we don't have that money, and I'd rather spend it on food. If I'm being honest.
I wouldn't want to take the time.
No,
so I just, the phenomenon is like really lost on me.
And we'll recommend Dazzle Dry. It lasts forever on your nails. It's a little expensive, but you do it at home, so it's
I wish they would work with us. We do have an affiliate link, but it's the best. If you have like side income, separate all of your like business income and expenses with your personal income and expenses. We did this immediately, like back in like 2017. We've talked about this a million times, but we had a photography business, and immediately, like at first we were like, oh, like how should we get paid, and like should we put it in one of our accounts and like split it? But then almost immediately we formed an LLC and put everything through there, and it was so helpful to keep everything separate. Like we knew how much we had in our business bank account and how much we were spending, because we have QuickBooks, so all of our bills were in one place, and it was completely separate from our personal expenses. And I think that really just helps to make you live within your means.
Yeah, like our business account is separate, so we see like anything that goes into the business is and you like can visually, you log into your bank and you're like, oh, it's there, it's not in my finances.
Obviously if you're just like a sole proprietor and you're just trying to have extra income and you do want to funnel it into your personal, that's fine, like if you're kind of just doing it for like side money. But if it's actually something sustainable that you think it's going to go on for a while, we recommend separating it.
Okay, this one is controversial because I don't want to tell anyone not to work out, but I think
no, you shouldn't say that.
no, not workout, but like I think gym memberships these days are so expensive. Or at least from friends we have that are involved in gyms. It seems really expensive, and if you don't have the means for it, there are so many awesome free resources. Like we've recently saved all these free Pilates videos on YouTube because we've like lost a lot of muscle, and I'm like gaining weight, and I'm like, oh, we need to like get back to it.
I think it's Move by Nicole. I'll link below.
Yeah, but even like past, we've done like yoga with Adrienne.
Yeah.
And remember those Pop Sugar videos too?
Oh, those are good, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good free ones on YouTube. And then walking. Walking is free, and you can go outside for everyone that is able. You can walk, you can look around. Okay, and these are all of our money saving tips. I hope it was helpful. I'm sure we're honestly forgetting something.
Yeah.
I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, I know we do more than this, but if it was helpful, please let us know. And if you would like us to do similar type videos.
Yeah, I know we've done a few blog posts about saving money because when I was researching this, I looked back on our blog. So maybe I'll also do a blog post and list everything, so you also have like a resource that you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Like watch it now, please, or thank you for watching the whole thing. But then if you want to come back to it, I'll just list them.